What's up, everyone? Oh, shoot, let me get that out of the way. What's up, everyone? Today's video is not brought to you by Snapple Tea. Peach tea. It does taste really good, though. No, today's live stream, well, it's not a video, more or less. It's a live stream. Today's live stream is brought to you by Joe Rader, the Black Rock Central Railroad. Only because he sent me his locomotive, which I've already taken apart. And he said he wants Tsunami 2 installed in it. So we're going to do a Tsunami 2 install. And it looks like I've already got a few people in the chat. So I see Joe Rader's there. I see JD Grandpa Rails is there. I see Lynn McCurdy in the chat as well. So welcome, guys. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone else. And that's it. Okay. So, like I said, I've got Joe's locomotive here. I've already taken it apart. So, Joe, since you are in the chat, I do have a question for you. Do I think I know what I'm doing, Robert? I could have told you I have no earthly idea what I'm doing. So, Mr. Joe Rader is a very, very brave man. Very brave. But that's okay. Because somebody's got to be brave, right? Alright. Move a couple of little things out of the way. Got the soldering iron already heating up. We're going to need that heat. So, we got a crow in the house. Caca. So, Joe, let me know if you're still here because I have a question for you. So, say here. Here, there, everywhere. There might be a little bit of a lag. Because this was the only thing I did not get an answer on. Okay, so he said, hi, Robert. So, he's here. Alright, I got to replace your bulbs. Do you want warm white? Or do you want bright white? Let me know your decision. Stretched! What's going on, man? So Stretch Limo's in the house as well. Now, I think Anthony Dodge is still live. So for those that want to go and hang out with Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider, go hang out with him. I don't know if he's went off yet. Give him purple lights. Okay, he wants the bright lights. All right. All right, so we got 2 purple lights for Joe Rader, since that's what Robert told me to give him. All right, what did I do with my scissors? Man, I keep losing all my stuff. You know the saying goes that when you don't need something, it's always in the way, and then when you need it, it's no longer around. That's how I feel right now. Race fan, welcome. Stretch got home from work. It's the start of the weekend. All right, let me see if I might have did something with my whatchamacallits. My Caesars. I have my Caesars. Alright, give me just a second. Chat amongst yourselves. Alright, I found them. They were sitting on my desk. How about that? So for those who don't know, these are electrical scissors, or I call them snips. This is what I use. This is like my go-to tool. I do not like using wire cutters to use with wire. Hey, Jerry! Boxcar Jerry's in the house. Welcome. Yeah, that's why I don't clean the workbench. You're right, Lynn. You're absolutely right. Okay. So I'm just going to cut a small hole in here because I've got to get a couple of LEDs for Joe. So I'm going to use these bad boys right there. Put those off to the side. Watching the coupler video. Okay. Robert, you did a coupler video? Alright. So, this is... What did we say this was? This was a Branch Line Trains Yardmaster series. So, pretty cool locomotive. What I'm not going to be doing on this live stream today is the actual programming of the locomotive. But what we can do is get everything else up and going. Alright. So this is kind of what it looked like when I took it off. And it does have the motor clips here. Like there's this big plastic piece. So I'm like, that's nice. I am going to have to take the motor out because it looks like I am going to need to solder a wire to the bottom and isolate. And then as far as wheel pickups go, this is pretty different. But we're going to get it figured out. So I guess the first thing I need to do is figure out how to remove the motor and other goodies. Yeah, it's an older one, and I just got done doing an old one for Crooked Dave. You know, he just put out his video of a steam locomotive. I just got done putting sound in it and got that back to him. Um, but I think what he really liked was his box car that I sent him. Hey, thanks, Stretch. Much appreciated. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and let's start knocking stuff off while I start doing some desoldering. Because that's a rail pickup and that's a rail pickup. Not sure why they put a copper board back here on the back, but not on the front. But thank you, Jerry. I'm going to need that. Okay. It looks like everything is all compression clip. What it seems like. How does this dude come apart? Okay, got one truck out. Daniel's Trains and Things. What kind of loco is that I'm working on? This is a branch line. I don't know much about it, to be honest. The only thing I do know is I'm taking it apart. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't know everything when it comes to these locomotives. You know, I'm still learning myself. All right, there's two trucks. Not quite sure how this copper thing here, this PCB board comes off. But what I really need is this motor out of here, and it's like it don't want to come out. The heck? Is there something I'm missing here? I feel it wiggling. Alright, Stretch, have a good one. Oh, hey, Phil. Did I miss Phil coming in? Okay, I feel something trying to give now. Boy, Joe. And they put this dude up in there, do they not? Oh, Phil says hi back to me. Okay. So this is what the bottom looks like. There's no screws. I'm just not very sure how this dude comes apart. Like, it is all confusing. Oh, oh, maybe that's a trick. Maybe I gotta take those things out. Aha! Progress. Get something else out, and voila. We have a motor. Completely removed. Not sure what that went to. Okay. Well, excuse me. Hey, Grant, how's it going? And Joe's like, now you understand why I sent it to you. Well, hey, at least I got the motor out. I needed to do that because one of the things that I've got to do is I've got to isolate the bottom, which is going to be tricky because the tape's got to be like perfect. So I'll have to probably get the X-Acto out and cut the tape exactly to size. Robert, stop hating. My eyesight right now is not terrible, but I can tell you it has been getting worse. Um, Especially like driving at night. Especially driving at night. All right, guys. If you're not able to see what I'm doing, because I always get comments like, "We can't see what you're doing." Um, I'm just letting you know I'm on my cell phone. So, but what I did was I put a piece of electrical tape right in there. I mean, I've got a magnifying glass. Just right now, I just don't need it. And I've got two lights, one over there, one over there, and so I'm catching light from two different directions. So I'm actually in a good spot. All right. Okay, this is going to be fun. All right. I need wire. There's my gray. Does Soundtraxx help train me? Yes, I went through their training seminar. Oh gosh, that was back I think 2017 is when I went. You don't have to be factory trained in order to be an installer for Soundtraxx, but it does help. This is a branch line trains some type of U-boat. Joe Rader would know this is his. But welcome, Daniel. Uh, but yes, I did get to go meet George Bogatuk in person years ago. I also got to meet Nancy and a lot of the other people that was at Soundtraxx at the time. Um, they've had a little bit of changeover since. So, all right, let's see. Solder, 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 solder. I had that out earlier because it's over there. I had to solder something earlier on the layout. I left my solder over there. I'll tell you this, Branchline makes some really, really nice car kits. Very, very detailed and a pain in the rear to put together. Not like a, not like putting a blue box together. I'll tell you that for sure. Okay, all right. Now what I got to do is I got to isolate the motor from the side. You know what I think? I think what I'll do is go ahead and solder the orange wire on that. Hey, Ray Bertelson. So if you popped in here and I haven't said hi to you yet because my face has been down looking at what I'm doing, go ahead and say hi and keep saying hi till I say hi back because I definitely enjoy having you in here, especially on a nice Friday afternoon. And if you hear the ensemble in the background, that would be my two dogs barking at something. What? I'm not sure. Hello, Julie. I hope you are doing well today. Okay. now that I've got those two wires on, I am going to put some tape, and I'm not, ooh, I just noticed that's like a vent for the motor. Hmm. Alright, I think I'm going to do this instead. No, we're going to put sound in it. It will have sound. If you know me, it will have sound. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm putting in more electrical tape on the inside of this here chassis um, to isolate the motor. That's one of the things you have to do on these older locomotives is, you know, DCC wasn't a thing when they built these. So it was just much easier for them to put a rail pickup going through the chassis. You have the negative of the locomotive and all the lights going through the chassis, where actually be the positive on the backup light going through the chassis. And so that way when the locomotive went forward, the headlight would come on, and then when you moved it in reverse, the backup light would come on. So, yeah, branch line, they've got some age to them. They do. Okay, now let's see how this dude fits. Put it in there backwards. Let's see how this dude fits. I think we're good now, except I have a wire. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. I love it when a plan comes together. Yes, I have tried the Blue Nami, and speaking of, I've got one right here to put in a locomotive of mine, and I even have installed a Blue Nami in an O scale, an Atlas O scale locomotive, one of the BLU 4400s. What I plan on doing is upgrading all of my locomotives from Tsunami 2 and everything else that they came with Blue Nami. And then what I'll end up doing is on my Tsunami 2s, I will be selling those if they're still, if they're not discontinued. I'll be selling those for like half off the price of new. So if anyone's interested in a used Tsunami 2, you know, half the price, like $50, you know, it's not going to be a bad buy. Just saying. I don't know what the purpose of this PCB board is right here, but it's going to come out. There we go. Joe doesn't need it anyways. Alright, now time to put this dude back together. How did I do that again? Okay, this goes. Oh, let's see. Hold on. I know that drops in there. So the advantage of Blue Nami, if you've got someone new coming into the hobby, they could have a locomotive that can do everything DCC can do without having to buy a DCC system. So that would be perfect for someone like Ray Bobel if he wanted to go that direction, because he could get all the bells and whistles without having to wire up a DCC system. For bigger scales and gauges like S scale, my NMRA division director, he models SN3, which is S narrow gauge, and he's doing everything Blue Nami, and he's got batteries. Now, he's steam, so he's got batteries in the tenders with the locomotive with a on-off switch. And so his locomotives are all operating off of battery power, meaning that he doesn't even have his rails electrified. So that's a huge, huge advantage, being able to do that. So there, it's got its pros and cons. For me, because I plan on having, multiple operators on my layout, instead of buying more throttles, I could use that extra cost towards the cost of Blue Namis. And with that, you come over to the house, guess what? You've got a throttle in your pocket. So, for me, it makes more sense. Hey, Russ is rocking O and HO and Digger. Welcome. And as far as my trains go, if I want to go to either a show or what you call it, like a club layout or something, then I'll already have um, a throttle in my pocket and I can control my train. So, I mean, it's got its pros, it's got its cons. But in my opinion, I see a lot more pros than I see cons. Hey, Rusty, Possum Bayou's here. What's going on, Rusty? I'm trying to get these clips all back in here, Joe, but man, these are booger bears. The Rusty, I just shot myself in the face. Rusty just escaped the ship factory. That's interesting. All right. Harder locomotives. Um, One of the hardest installs I had to do was in uh, Crooked Dave's Bachman steam locomotive he just did, man. Um, that was a pain in the rear doing that one. Okay, are these things the same or different? They look exactly the same. Why are these not wanting to go in? I know I don't have tape covering up the what you call it. Like, Branch Line, man, they got some jokes or something. Like, what the heck? Willow Creek Industrial Spur, welcome. Yes, Lego trains. That's another option I've seen Blue Nami install. The Arkansas Lego Club, or ArcLug, they have installed Blue Nami in the Lego trains with some of them being lighted, which is really, really, really cool, in my opinion. Okay, finally got that dude in. That was a pain in the butt. Joe's over here. No, I didn't get that dude in. What the heck? Thought I got it in there. Joe, you sending me some difficult stuff, man. Taking me just this long just to get the clips put back on. Okay, that clip goes in like so. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna get that in first. Maybe try to put the motor in at an angle. I don't know how well that's gonna work. But if it don't, we'll see. Hey Tim, CP368, welcome. Actually, I've done a Kato, so that's and Katos are easy peasy for me. But just getting this clip back on where it goes is not easy. I'll tell you that. Use some magic words. They usually work for me. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so this thing's got multiple clips. It's got this clip here, right? It looks just like that. And then once you clip it on there, you have this other clip that goes in and does that from underneath. So that's what I'm fighting with. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever came across. Leave it to my buddy Joe Rader. Okay, let's see if I've got that straightened out. Probably not. It's like I can't get this bottom one to go in. Oh, it's all good, Joe. It's all. Hey, Joe, worst case, if I can't get this back together, You could always turn it into a shelf queen. That's not what I want you to have, though. All right, Grant, take care. Joe's like, no! I'm just messing with you, Joe. Calm down. Calm down. Hell or high water, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it figured out. And there goes the dog barking again. Okay, I got that side in. Oh, did I get it? Well, hot damn. I got it. Ian, Andy Dobson, welcome. Okay. I finally got the motor clipped back in. Who'd have thunk it? Alright. So that's isolated. Next thing I'm going to do is take my nice little nifty helper hands tool that George from Sountraxx gave me years ago. All it is a piece of cardboard and a clothespin put on backwards and glued down. It's the cheapest helping hand you could ever make. And I am going to take the two LEDs that Joe said he wants. And start getting some wires soldered onto it. Haven't even tried to trace them once. Well, that's not a good install if the wires are long. Okay. All right. So most people, this is the difference between most people and I. Most people would solder a resistor on each LED. There is no need for that. Unless Joe's got to answer this question. Joe, are you putting Rule 17 lighting on this locomotive? Now, I wonder how many people know what Rule 17 is. Yeah, me and George, we're good buds too. He actually, so before Norman accepted the job as the tech support person for Soundtraxx, he actually tried to get me to take the job, and I considered it. Like, I really looked into it, and if it wasn't for my retirement where I'm at, I can retire at the age of 54 with full retirement. I would have probably ended up moving out of Arkansas and moved to Southwest Colorado to Durango, but yeah. Ah, Russ, good job. The dimming headlight rule. And yes, Rusty, it is between 16 and 8. So, so for those who don't know what Rule 17 lighting is, and this is stuff that you are supposed to have on your yard switchers, is when the locomotive is in the forward direction, the headlight is on bright and the backup light is on dim. When the locomotive goes in the rear direction, the headlight goes dim and the backup light goes bright. That would let people in the yard know at night if they hear the locomotive moving and they can't see the front or see the back of the locomotive. They don't know what front and back is. They can tell by the headlight if that locomotive is coming towards them or not. So that is what Rule 17 is. So Joe, if you don't want Rule 17 on this locomotive and you want headlight on, backup light off, or vice versa, then I'm just going to use one resistor, and I will tag the resistor onto the decoder and not on the LED, which I just dropped. See where that LED? Okay. So with that being said, it's down here somewhere, and I'm not climbing down there to go get it. I've got another LED I can use right here. I will find that LED later. Jerry, I have a hard time seeing you be a rule breaker. Dwight Kerley, what's going on, buddy? But Daniel, one of the things that I talked George into, and maybe you can help back me up on this one, is for them to find a way to make the Tsunami sound card a Blue Nami sound card. Or I told them a blue card. So that would be really cool that we could link up the Tsunami sound cards with Bluetooth. Yeah, Touch of the Brush, he's up in Springdale, so I'm right outside of Little Rock. And I'm subscribed to Touch of the Brush, and I noticed where he's subbed to me too. One of these days, if I ever get my layout built, I'll invite him down here to come check it out. But yeah, Joey G. And for NMRA members, those that want to use Joey G for weathering, he does have a discount code if you are a NMRA member. I did come across that. And he does some really, really good weathering, by the way. All right. First thing I'm going to clip is the positive lead. And I need blue wire. I always use blue for my positives. Around the Layout Podcast, welcome. Get some flux. Pin my wire. Almost make it smoke in here like Cheech and Chong. Not quite. Ooh, I'm running low on tubing. But I would say the hardest locomotive I have ever put sound in. It's a ON30, but it's an 040 quarter. It is so small, and it was not DCC ready. So I had to go in, isolate the headlight from the motor, from the motor, from the chassis. Same with the cab light. It had a little cab light in there too. And I ended up having to put the decoder in a reefer because there is just no room in there. Already done half installed DCC. Oh, nice. That's nice. All right. Moment of truth. Wire to the positive lead. Just like that. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking some heat tubing. Well, I'll do the heat tubing in a minute. flip the LED around. And on the other one, I'm going to use a white wire. Oh, it was a drill bit right there. Flux on it. It's awesome when you can find other people that have a different skill set and barter and trade out some work. Chris from the Tennessee River Union, something like that. TRUR, Tennessee River Union Railroad, is doing a painting for me. And when he gets done with that painting, he is going to send me a locomotive for me to do an install in for him. And then on this instance here, Joe, Black Rock Central, this is his locomotive. He actually sent me one of his custom decaled gondolas with a scrap load that he made himself to offset some of the cost. So Daniel, did you ever get to meet Justin from Sountraxx? He was way before Norman. He was with Sountraxx for the longest. And I think he actually graduated from the college there in Durango. Okay. So now I got an LED wired up just like that. Scott, I was talking to someone at my train club about prototype, and I was told that freelance is lots better. My train club is based on the old Seaboard Airline from Savannah, Georgia to Jacksonville, Florida freelance. And my phone stand just collapsed. Lovely. Lift it back up. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Justin, he was the one who helped me out a lot when I was starting to do decoder installs back in the Tsunami 1 days. And I'll tell you, Tsunami 1, that was oof. Um, because you had to get the right locomotive. They didn't have all of the different prime mover sound options and stuff like that. It was a little more difficult. So, all right, there's the yellow. Can never have enough wire. I bought every color, and I bought blue twice because I'm like I use blue more than any other color. Hey, Randall Ellison, welcome. All right, so for those who are still in here, if I have not said hi to you, say hi again, so that way I say hi, because I can only see like 4 or 5 comments in the chat at a time. So, all right, hello. Yep, that's what I got started doing. Yes, the sounds were made with individual decoders to fit specific models. Now you get 3 decoder formats with all the sounds onto one. Makes, oh yeah, much easier installs. The only one you still have to do your research on is EMD, but it's pretty straightforward. Um, because there are 2 different EMD decoders. A little solder on that. Clean that up, clean that up, and I need to clip out a couple more of these. Hey, Mom and Son, welcome. Tammy and Ray. I hope y'all are doing good down in South Carolina. So, Daniel, are you like in the St. Louis area? Are you in Illinois, Tennessee? Whereabouts are you located? And if I asked before and I forgot, I apologize. Uh, Jerry, yes and no, or no and yes. It's not based on the scale. It's based on the amp stall of the motor. So if you get like a TSU 2200, for example, that is a Tsunami 2 that's rated for 2 amps, a stall current, where a TSU 1100 is only rated for 1 amp of stall current. And so, like some of the HO scale switchers, you can actually use an N scale decoder or a 1 amp versus using a bigger 2 amp decoder. So it's a yes or no, but you definitely can't use a 2 amp decoder in an N scale. S scale, you kind of get an option if it's going to be like a 2 amp or the bigger 4 amp. All right, all I'm doing right here is just getting the heat tubing shrunk down on my solder connection. And there's our second LED. So we got 2 LEDs. Okay, Jerry, you just let me know when. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to glue these LEDs. So inside here, you can see it's got the plastic piping for the headlight and lighted number boards. And having a LED that is rounded like this one is not going to glue on it easily. So there is a little trick. You got a pair of sprue cutters. As long as you don't go down far enough to the electronics, you can actually take it and clip that round edge off and make it flat, like so. And now I can super glue it to the thing and all will be good. And it's going to make that light a little bit better. All right. Speaking of, we've got CA and Instaset. So I'm going to take a little bit of super glue. I'm going to dab a little bit of it on the end of that. I might have to get my tweezers, who knows. And set it right there and just spray one shot of spray on it. that quick. Well, and of course, once I tried to bend the wires because my wires are too long, it popped right off. So I'm going to do it again. Now that I got my wires bent. Skookill! What's going on, John? Alright, got the glue. Set it in there. Grab my spray. Spray it. Let that harden. Now, we're good to go. And I can actually go ahead and put that back in the cab here in a second. Get those screws out of my way. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing back here on this back side. So I'm going to take my yellow LED. Yeah, John showed up. How about that? And I'm going to clip off the rounded edge of that LED. And I'm going to have to get some tweezers. Because my big fat fingers are not going to reach down in that easily. This will have to wait. Needle nose pliers. Right, do that. Boy, this ain't easy. There we go. And hopefully I'm done with that if I don't try to knock my phone over. So, Daniel, I do have a question for you if you're still in here. And I might call George here in a little bit if I get done in time. You said you've done 4 blue nomies already. They wouldn't happen to be inside of a brass steam locomotive by chance, would they? Go ahead and put my yellow wire up. I'm done with it. Figure out how long I want my blue wire. And my white wire and blue. That's going to be long enough there. Now I can take my white wire. And maybe Daniel's left. Alright, put the white up. We're going to put the blue up. Okay. Okay. Alright. I'll go ahead and put these handrails back on that popped off. Just so that way I don't lose them. There we go. Alright. Alright, now I gotta figure out how these trucks come apart. And I think I figured it out. I think. There we go. Mainly, only because I want to take these bottom things off. Because I've got this big metal spring clip here that I am going to have to cut. And then we're going to have to solder a wire down to that. And something else I need to do is scrape some paint off. So that way I can solder my wire. This one's got a little brown wire on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off. There we go. Joe, this is what, a U30B? The box doesn't even say what it is. I think it's a U30B. I know it's not no U25, but it's a 4-axle. Okay, so that one and that one. So that's going to get the black wire. So there's me black. So I have my black wire. Go ahead and tin it. And we're going to put that back where that one wire was. Alright. Perfect. Actually, what I need to do is get my red wire. So for those wondering, like, why am I saying certain colors? Hey, Andy, um, there is a color scheme for DCC. Your black and red wires is for your track pickups. Your orange and gray is your motor feed. Blue is your lighting common. White is your headlight. Um, yellow is your backup light. Green is FX3. Brown is FX4. So FX is your lighting outputs. And then you could have a striped green, striped brown. Purples, that's your speakers. I need to trim this dude up. A little short. Okay, that's interesting. That did not want to take solder. Let me try the top and see what happens. Artie, what's going on, Artie? Try not to lose that little screw. That is a little screw. Well, if I could just get a dab of solder to take this, there we go. Then I know I'll be able to get a wire on it. Alright guys, sorry I'm not paying attention to the chat right this second. I really gotta concentrate what I'm doing. Got it. Yeah, Rusty already has a bad habit of sneaking in people's back doors. I don't know if I didn't know if you noticed that or not. Alright. Now maybe I can put this back on. Pretty sure that goes right there. Nope, it goes right there. Alright. Now we got a black red pair to the truck. And now that I got a black and red pair to the truck, I can put this dude back on. Ooh, all the grease. Alright. That should be enough wire there. Let's see, get the drive shaft in there as well. This reminds me a lot of like my new Bachman that I just put Blue Nami in as well. Just the way it's done. Yeah, they don't make this easy. There, get in there. Shut. Alright, take you. Do this for you. No. Now I'll feed the wire. White River Line, Drew. Long time no see, bud. I hope you've been doing good. Alright, one truck down, one truck to go. Have I ever installed a decoder in a Proto 2000 HO scale frame? No, I have not. But I have installed a Tsunami 3 decoder in a Walder's, I believe it's a Walder's, Alco rotary snowplow. And I even added a headlight for it. Alright, one truck down, one truck to go. Alright, same thing, I gotta pop this clip off. Would I like to try? Um, the question is there enough room to do it? I've seen where someone's actually pulled that off before. There's like an article online, and I think they did it in an Athearn crane, one of the big Bucyrus Erie cranes. and they had to do a lot of work, a lot of rigmarole to get it to do right. Set that off to the side. Pull that guy out. So I don't know. That might be a tough project. Not saying it's not doable. And guys, keep in mind, it's one thing to convert something to DCC. It's a little bit more intuitive to convert it to DCC and sound. A lot more involved. Yeah, it's a huge job. Pretty freaking cool, but it's a huge job. Hey, postmodern, welcome. All right, okay, turn that down. Perfect. Let me see if I can get some solder to stick to this. Jerry, I don't know. I might rather try to do something 1-to-1 scale than trying to do something like that in HO. I think I finally got it to take. Yeah, it's a little warm. Yeah, got that one on. Yeah, that's what I figured. That black wire just popped right off. It's a little thicker gauge than the wire that I typically use, so it makes it not as flimsy. So having a little bit more of a flimsy wire sometimes actually helps. So Joe, have you learned anything yet? red wire and black wire. You learned that you're glad you sent it to me, huh? Not for the faint of heart. And it should be that screw there. Oh, not that screw. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. All right, we're gonna TNT it up. Are you kidding me? Wow, those clips are too big. Wow. Okay. Well, let me pop this back on. That's interesting. All right. I think that's going to be more than enough wire that I need. So I can get rid of this gray and orange. If we got motor movement. Well, we got motor movement. Well, Joe, it's not the fact if I can cut them down or not cut them down. It's they're too wide. They're too wide than what the decoder allows. So, and then the clips are bigger than the holes in the decoder. I have never ran it across that before. So what I might have to do is run some tape under it and just tape over it. Okay. Right? So I guess what I'm going to go ahead and do is see if I can't get the speaker wired up. Now, I don't have purple wire, which I would normally use for speaker. So sometimes what I'll do is use black and red for that as well. Stormy, what's going on? DCC equals headaches. No. DCC and very old locomotives equal headaches. There's a little bit of a difference there. DCC and this guy here was a breeze. This is the one that's fixing to get the blue Nami. But yeah, DCC and the old stuff, yeah, that's where headaches come from. So I will agree with you on that. Okay. And stick those through the baffle. And Joe is getting a 16 by 35 millimeter oval speaker. That too, Artie. Or if someone started the job, got overwhelmed, and said the heck with it, and then sent you the rest to finish up, and you're like, okay, how do I put this back together because I didn't take it apart? Those two. Alright, let me see which one is positive and which one is negative. I think it probably don't even matter. Sometimes they don't matter. Slide that out of the way so I don't get confused. So, to all of my channel members that are in here, and no, you don't have to sign up and be a channel member if you're not one. That's cool. To show my appreciation of y'all supporting me as long as y'all have, I will be doing something similar, one at a time, for you that I did for Dave over at the Crooked River in Eastern. So, actually had a lot of fun doing that. No, I'm not coming to visit. The heck? That was wild. The world? Okay. I mean, Artie, if you want to pay for my flight there, I'll come visit you. Why is this dude not wanting to stick? What the heck? Like, this wire does not even want to stick to the speaker. This is so weird. Already that depends, and yes, I know those are diapers. I'm gonna trim some of that off. Like, the speaker had like a big old thing of solder on it, and when I went to solder the wire to it, it's like the wire didn't even want to stick. She's in there that time. That was weird. Okay, what prime movers are in those Aussie engines? Yeah, that one stuck. That first one, that was just wild. I ain't ever seen nothing like that. Already, I still got your Alco to do. Okay. Alright, speaker. Go there. Get rid of the. Alright. I guess I need to go ahead and put in the motor feeds. I'm going to go there. That one. Still gotta make the partner up for that Alco. Well, I've got the decoder for it. Let's see, solder and solder. All right. Yeah, we can get it figured out. It's on my to-do list. I just ain't done it yet. There we go. All right. Now that I got that done, the motor feed, go ahead and put that tape. Take this tape. We're going to wrap it over. Do that. There you go, Joe. Keep telling them I'm not in a hurry for it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only reason why I haven't done it. But whenever you get ready, just let me know. Alright. Well, I'm hoping it'll run great on DCC. By the time I get done with it. Oh, it's smooth sailing now, guys. Well, Scott, what is your level of craftsmanship is going to be the real question. Because if you're kind of a beginner, doing a double could discourage you if it's something that you're not ready for, and you definitely don't want to run into that. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm building a double, and I haven't even started on the second level. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really cool that you get the extra trains and stuff, or longer trains. You can have friends come and operate on it. I mean, there's a lot of perks, but along with perks comes cons. You can't have your cake and eat it too. But a helix minimum radius is 32 inch on a 4-inch rise. So you really need like roughly 5.5 feet by 5.5 feet just to dedicate for a helix. So if you ain't got that space, just go single and be done. That's just my 2 cents. Alright, so what I'm doing now is just hooking up the rail pickups. I've already got this side done. Now I'm doing this side. And so I don't burn myself like I've done many times in the past. We'll do that. Now, if I was to go and put this on the layout and turn the layout on, we should have sound. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm not going to make her move. I just want to make sure she has sound. I've got sound. Sounds good to me. All right. All I got left now to do is wire in the lights. All right. Now, I like to keep these wires longer because of the simple fact that if Joe wants to take a shell off, he's got what he needs for that. All right, first things first is I need to get a resistor before I forget. When doing lighting installs with LEDs, 1000 ohm resistors. How come does this sound like a Volkswagen? You hear a Volkswagen? I didn't hear a Volkswagen. I heard a GE. Perfect. I'll tell you this, the last thing I build on my layout, benchwork wise, will be the helix. The last piece of track, my golden spike, will be at the top of the helix. Sorry guys, I keep putting my stuff right in front of y'all. And I'm just shrinking the tubing down on the common. That's a little warm. Okay. Now all I gotta do is put the actual lights on in the right direction. And then Joe, I'm done. Well, after I tested, of course. And of course, the I'll still have to program it. There we go. All right. Yellow is in. It says I got 22 people watching, but not a lot of people talking. Okay. Alright, go ahead and put these screws back in. Martin, show some blue smoke and we'll talk. Oh, Martin. I think you got me confused for Heath. Because I am. I don't want the blue smoke. Alright. Let me grab the phone and move you over to the layout. We'll see what it does. I gotta get my throttle too. Alright. Yeah, Joe really does not want smoke because this is Joe's locomotive. Alright. We're going to put you right here. Okay. And maybe the phone will try to fall over again. I'll bring it down now that I got it angled. Here's my tweezers. Alright, here we go. Firing her up. Blue smoke on 1, 2. Ah! Blue smoke! Alright. Oh wow, the light is like making it. Well, Joe, are these wheels dirty? They look dirty. As soon as I try to move it, I think you got some dirty wheels, man. I mean, my track's a little dirty, but not that bad. Yeah. Yeah, blame it on the wheels. I don't know if y'all can see that spinning or not. All right, Joe, what you think so far? I know, right? You're gonna need to paint that front end. So I guess all they're gonna do now, Joe, is program the LED. What would you paint the LED? Here's the back side. So that way you can see the back LED working too. It lights up both the lights and the number. Oh, you ain't gonna be able to do that because it's all funneled into the glass and everything. So what you're gonna have to do is pop that cab off and break the glass off. I wouldn't even try. Just leave it the way it is. Because I saw that and I was like, ooh. Alright. Hold on a second, guys. Alright. I'm gonna give y'all a sneak peek, if I get my hand out of the way, of a video that will be coming out very soon. I've got it all recorded. I just got to edit it, get it all put together. Audio is bad. More settings, audio. Okay, how about now? Is audio better now? I'm gonna turn Joe's locomotive off because that's loud. All right. Can y'all hear me good now? That's better. Audio again. Okay. I don't know why it does that. I just don't know. All right. Climbing up in the hole. All right. Check this out, guys. Camera. Whoops. Wrong button. Camera. This is what I want to do right here. So I finally got my EFX 16 all put in. And the boiler house has a flickering light on purpose. So yeah, you can see that's the LCC that's doing that. I've got the night watcher. I got the shanty lit up. Night watcher back there. The automobile lights is on. Can't see the chat, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, that's like a really cool feature that I'm doing with the LCC now. So, got the static grass all done right here. So I'm actually getting close to the point of filling this hole in. Except for I need to vacuum out the static grass in the creek. And resin's going to cost me about $100 to do the water resin pour. Ugh! But it's all lit and it's all working. So it's still in progress. But there's the controller right there. It does up to 16 lights. And you can even, I just found out reading the manual today that you can even make it do a traffic light system. So So, like I said, you're going to get a preview of that here pretty soon. Or a video of that here pretty soon. Alright, well, I got that install done in 2 hours. How about that? Thank y'all, much appreciated. That is the actual scene that I am working on getting my NMRA scenery certificate. So you missed why does the light flicker? I wanted it that way because that building is old. And so it makes it look like that light is about to go out. So it's time for them to replace that bulb. Joe, you ain't happy yet. You think you're happy. You ain't happy yet. Wait till I program it. Get the right prime mover sound. Get it to where when you're pulling a train, it's actually notched up, working harder than by itself, running in idle. Once you start getting those features, Joe, you're going to want me to do the rest of them. I guarantee you. That was a big selling point for me, man. When you just got a locomotive just driving by itself and it's like idling, it's like, okay, that's about right. But then you have it pulling a load at the same speed, and it's like, all right, now it's shifting up and down on its own, but the speed is staying constant. So, Anthony, welcome. You're coming in as I'm about ready to leave. You missed all the goodies. But I know you were up live for a while, so and I did tell people to go check you out. That is one of the things that I do. If I do go live when another streamer is live at the same time, I will encourage people to go check out that other channel, especially if it's their scheduled stream time. So, but I promised Joe that I would go live when I worked on his locomotive, and I was ready to work on it, so that's why I'm live. So, but anyways, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head on out of here. I've got some other things I need to try to take care of tonight. So other than that, I appreciate everyone in here hanging out. Wishing that I had blue smoke pop up for Joe, even though no blue smoke. So sorry, I'm not Heath. I am not Humanity Junction. So with that being said, y'all have a great one. Be safe out there and happy railroading.